What's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy Richard Metal Fan here. As you can see, I have no beard now. I pretty much shaved it off almost a week ago, but you could tell I'm growing it back out. But yeah, that's not what this video is about. Today we're gonna bring you guys an old school album review, and today we're gonna be looking into this album's 15-year anniversary, which is today, and it's from one of my favorite bands, especially growing up as a teenager, and it's from one of the best bands in melodic death metal. Oh, and as you can see, the title today we're going to be looking into Doomsday Machine by Arch Enemy. This is the band's sixth album, released on July 26th, 2005 through Century Media Records. Now, I've probably mentioned this before. Arch Enemy are one of my favorite bands, and pretty much one band I loved since I was in high school, and I've seen these guys live twice. And this is the sixth album and the second album with their second vocalist, Angela Gasso. And this was pretty much the album for me that really got me into Arch Enemy. I remember first seeing the music video for the song Nemesis on Headbangers Ball. Well, I've heard of them, but I didn't see the video of it. I didn't even know it was a girl doing vocals until I saw the music video for one of the songs, Nemesis, and I was like, God damn, that's a girl doing it, and I was really impressed. And I went and checked out all their other stuff, especially their first few albums where they had a guy doing vocals, Johan Liva, and then, of course, after I believe Stigmata, he left the band or something, and then they got Angela Gasso, who sang on the first album she did, Wages of Sin, and then we got Anthems of Rebellion, and now we got to Doomsday Machine. In my opinion, I feel like this is my favorite Arch Enemy album. All the other ones I think this is probably their best in my opinion. Vocally, like, Angela just sounds just so fucking fierce, like very demonic. Like, I just love her voice. It just sounds great, and she has like really great range, especially doing like the higher stuff and more low guttural stuff, which is really impressive. The guitar work on this album is just tight. From Michael Amott, and I believe his brother was in the band at the time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just their guitar playing is just great, and just like the leads and just the riffs they come up with are great. Bass wise, Charlie D'Angelo, I feel like the bass could have been a little bit turned up more, but that's just me. But and drumming wise, what can I say about Daniel Erlandson? Like, in my opinion, I feel like him, along with his brother Adrian, are one of the most underrated drummers in metal. Just like the same drumming they do is just fucking awesome. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is Enter the Machine, which is kind of a fitting title for the first song in the album, which is an instrumental. So when I think of it as like the introduction to the next song, it starts off with one guitar, and then like a drum roll is played, and then the rest of the band comes in, and then a new riff is played after this, and then the first riff just comes back in, and the second part comes back in. But I feel like that part is more like higher up, and then it leads into the next song, which is Taking Back My Soul, and has some really good palm muted chords and just some insane double bass drumming, and the instrumental stop so often and start up again, and I don't know. And at the end of the second part, a solo is played, and then Angela comes in, and she just sounds fierce. And the chorus in this song sounds more melodic than the rest of the song, which is a traditional Arch Enemy style. Well, in this song also has a guest appearance from the great Gus G. It's I love this song. And then we get to Nemesis, which is the first single from this album, and pretty much the very first song from Arch Enemy I've heard, which really got me into this band. It starts off with a really fast riff, and then the whole band comes in, and Angela just lets out a shriek. And I feel like her voice right here is just lower in this part than pretty much the usual songs. And the intro riff is like repeated with a solo over it, but it's pretty much short. And I love the chorus in here. It's beautiful. It's melodic, yet with Angela's vocals, it's just brutal and heavy as fuck. I think it's a great choice for a single, and like I said, pretty much, in my opinion, my favorite Arch Enemy song. And then moving on to My Apocalypse, which is a bit slower than what we've heard so far on the album. It starts off with one guitar and then the drums hitting the toms, then double bass pedals come in at the second part, and I just think it's a great song. Moving on to Carry the Cross, which begins with a single guitar playing an alternate pick part, and then the drums playing, and then the bass comes in with a little bit, a few notes. One of the few moments you actually hear the bass on this album, and then another guitar comes in, and the riff is just repeated, and just while one riff's just playing that guitar is playing that riff, and then another one is playing some chords. Moving on to I Am Legend / Out of Blood, which in my opinion is the heaviest track on the album. It starts off with just a single guitar and then just kind of like at some parts it's pretty much interrupted by the drumming, and then a drum roll is played and then the whole band comes in. And I just love how there's like a new riff that comes in which varies between the guitars playing different parts. It's in there, and this song I believe has like some also keyboards in there, which has played by somebody named Ola Stromberg, which is pretty cool. Then we move on to Skeleton Dance, which kind of starts off pretty odd, but then the guitars gradually fade in, playing like higher notes, and then the song just finally kicks it. And I just love just the heavy intro riff in here. It just sounds evil and just brutal sounding. Next song on the album is called Hybrids of Steel, which is another instrumental. It starts off with one guitar playing some chords and another playing a lead riff, and then the drums come in with the guitar. And this song has pretty much an uplifting vibe to it, and the drums just play a pounding beat as the guitar picks as like a few chords, and then another guitar joins in, which plays a little lead riff in there. And I love how like in the guitar solo it gets a little bit louder, and it has a little bit of a shreddiness to it. Anyway, moving on to Mechanic God Creation, which starts off with just a very clean riff, and then they sort of like a guitar fades in, and it just has a really great riff to it, and it has a little bit of a short interlude, and then Angela comes in, and her voice is just completely just really deep and just brutal and low and full of hatred, and just really fits well with the music on this song. The next song on the album is called Match to Camp. To me, if I butchered it, which begins with a little bit of the drums, and then the guitars come in and Angela screams, and then everybody just is firing on all cylinders. There's on here, and this song is just much faster, and it makes you just want to get up and just headbang and circle pit. And then the album closes with Slaves of Yesterday, which begins, it's a bit slower, and this song I feel like has a bit more emotion than the rest of the songs. Not to say that the other songs were bad, but I don't know, song just has a lot of emotions. Like you could definitely feel the song. And then Angela comes in and the verse begins, and the guitars just play straight through, and I love how Angela just belts out an evil scream, and then another verse is played. And then the chorus is repeated a little bit, which is slower than the rest of the song, and I just love how Angela just comes back in and just screams Slaves of Yesterday. And I don't know, this song pretty much ends with like a fade out of the intro and the solo, and I feel like it's a great way to end this album. Now overall, Doomsday Machine by Arch Enemy is a classic in their discography. Like I said, my favorite Arch Enemy album. So if I give this album a score, I'm probably give this a solid 10 out of 10. It's just really great. So yep, that's my review of Doomsday Machine by Arch Enemy, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.